London detective, Chief Inspector Karen Park, explains the events before a public inquiry. It all started on May 15. Day 1. Karen goes home and turns on the TV. News shows that more than 20,000 people signed a petition to sack a controversial, far-right, newspaper columnist, Joe Powers. Honeybee mimicking drone insects, called ADI, have been activated for a second summer, due to near extinction of bees. Joe Powers goes home. She receives a cake that has profanity on it. She goes through the horrible comments, calling her names. She checks social media, and someone has tweeted, #death to Joe Powers. Karen watches an interview on TV, where rapper Tusk insults a child fan. She receives a call, and gets in the car. She goes to a crime scene, where she meets up with a trainee detective constable, Blue Coulson, and Nick Shelton. They are investigating the death of Joe Powers. Her neck has been sliced open. Her husband had his stomach slashed, who is now in the hospital. There's no forced entry. Karen asks Nick to check the cameras and send the cake for toxicology. Karen and Blue leave the scene. Karen drops off Blue to her house, because Blue don't have a driver's license. Day 2. Karen goes to the police station. CCTV shows that no one entered the house, apart from Joe and her husband. Blue goes through Twitter and collates every threat that Joe received in the last 48 hours. Nick tells Karen that husband is conscious now. They go to the hospital. He tells them that he went upstairs when he heard Joe screaming. She was clutching her head in pain. And then it suddenly stopped, and she started having seizure. Then she smashed her head on the desk. She broke a bottle and started cutting herself. He tried to stop her, but she slashed his stomach and then her own throat. They go to Liza Bahar's house, the woman who sent the cake. Blue checks the Twitter feed of Liza and discovers she posted #death to Joe Powers on Monday morning. Liza says that the cake was crowdsourced by 80 other people. They show her the tweet she posted. She says it's not real, it's just a joke thing. She saw the hashtag somewhere. Karen takes Blue aside and tells her that toxicology reveals that the cake was clean. They go back to the station. Nick tells Karen that people have started hating on Tusk for insulting the Kid fan. Someone tweets #death to Tusk. Tusk is wrapping up after a show. He starts having a seizure and clutches his head. They take him to the hospital while he screams in pain. He dies while undergoing an MRI scan when the magnetic field pull a metallic object out of his brain through his eye. The object is revealed to be an Audi. Sean Lee begins working on the case on behalf of NCA. Day 3. The autopsy on Joe reveals that there's a tunnel that goes from her ear canal right to her brain, where an Audi was found. It burrowed itself in. It crawled right to the brain's pain center and caused the real agonizing pain that a person would do anything to stop. Even cut their own throat. They both visit the company, Granular, that makes these drones. The whole Audi project was bankrolled by the government. People believe that government uses the bees to spy on them. They meet Vanessa Dahl. She takes them to Rasmus Sjöberg, the person who heads the project. He explains that since bees are extinct, Audis replace them. They are solar powered and doesn't need nectar, but they help in the pollination. They can't make honey. They use a basic visual sensor to recognize flowers and navigate. They are autonomous and take care of themselves, since it's not possible to command each one of them. Audis have created hives where they duplicate themselves. He checks the bee from Joe's body. Karen thinks that one of the bees may have been hacked, which is extremely difficult, but not impossible. Rasmus shows them all the hives in UK. There are 4,000 bees per hive, and they can track every bee. Blue enters the Joe's postcode, and it shows that one of the bees was lost here. Rasmus finds it weird that when bees pass between hives, they switch from one jurisdiction to another, which the bee tried to, but there was nothing to switch to. Blue believes that someone spoofed a hive using a controller, and used it to commandeer the Audi. The range of the controller is around 20 meters. Sean meets up with Karen, and tells her there's been more than one kills. He shows her the video of Tusk. Blue realizes the relevance of the #death too. The hashtag was first used by a set of duplicate bot accounts, as a game of consequences, an unpopularity contest. The name most used in the hashtag will be the target, who will be eliminated each day after 5 p.m. On first day, 63 people used it on Joe. On second day, 223 people used it on Tusk. Today, 880 people are using it on Clara Meads, a woman who took a photo at a war memorial, pretending to piss on it. Clara is at home, looking at the horrible tweets. Karen calls Clara and tells her that she is in danger. Blue calls Rasmus and sends him the location of Clara, and asks him to monitor it. Cops arrive at her location. Rasmus sees that someone's trying to break in. He calls Blue, and tells her that one Audi just went offline, 800 meters from their location. Karen gets Clara, while Blue searches for the killer. Rasmus is trying to trace the Audi. Clara is taken to a safe house. The rogue Audi also reached the location with the car. Rasmus tells Blue that they are unable to trace the Audi. Suddenly, they loose the entire hive. Thousands of Audis just went offline, close to Blue's location. They loose the mobile signal. They loose all the Audis across the entire UK. Sean watches as an entire pack of Audis fly towards him. Rasmus sends a text to Blue, asking her to get out of there. They try to rush outside, but have to lock themselves in a room, after noticing a bunch of Audis. The Audis have surrounded the house, and get in through the door. Watching the Audis trying to break the window, they lock themselves in the bathroom. The Audis manage to get in the room. The Audis manage to get in through the exhaust fan. One of them burrows into Clara's brain, through her nose. She starts having a seizure, and dies. Sean is angry at Rasmus, and tells him to sort this mess out. Blue wants to know, how did the Audis identify Clara? Since there were 3 of them in the room, but they only went for Clara. She believes Audis use facial recognition. Rasmus reveals that one of the conditions for the government backing was access to visual fields. Which means that the government is using the Audis to surveil on people. Total nationwide surveillance. Rasmus tells them that they are totally locked out and can't do anything. Day 4. People have caught on to the hashtag deaths. Thousands of people have started using the hashtag. Blue is trying to connect to the Audi that they recovered from Joe. Sean meets up with Tom Pickering, a chancellor, who is currently at number 1 for the hashtag. He wants Sean to shut down the entire social media. Sean advises against it, because if they shut it down, Tom will still be number 1. Sean suggests moving Tom to a safe location. Karen interviews Tess Wallander, a junior who quit Granular after she took a photo of a mentally disturbed guy on the tube, who was harassing her. Tess reveals she tried killing herself because of all the online hate that she received. Her flatmate, Garrett Scholes, found her in the bath. He had a thing for her. He also worked at Granular, on the Audis. Blue and Nick talk to Karen about a manifesto that they found, buried deep within the Audi. Sean shows Tom live footage of his team blowing up the Audis. He plans to move Tom to a bunker and blow out all the hives within a 10-mile radius. Suddenly, the live footage shows his team getting attacked by the hive. Blue has the manifesto printed out. Nick reveals that Garrett left the country 6 months ago. The manifesto reveals that Garrett believed that humans revel in cruelty, and it's a weakness that should be bred out. Nick goes online and tweets hashtag death to Garrett. Blue is able to trace his location through the metadata of his image in his manifesto. Garrett sees the hashtag with his name. Cops arrive at his location. They raid the house, but don't find anyone. Blue recovers a hard drive from the house. Rasmus believes the hard drive was his hacking toolkit, which he tries to use to get the access back to the Audis. On the drive, they find a file containing IMEI numbers of 387,000 devices. Blue deduces it is the list of everyone who has used the hashtag. Karen believes that this was all part of his plan. He intentionally left the metadata in his manifesto, and that shutting the whole system down will trigger an endgame. She believes that the people who use the hashtag are his real targets. Sean runs the deactivate command anyway. They watch in horror as all the Audis turn rogue. Garrett packs his bags and shaves his hair. He puts on contact lenses and leaves. He throws his laptop into the lake. The Audis kill all 387,000 people. Blue blames herself, feeling that she fell right into the trap and sprung the whole thing. It is believed that she killed herself after leaving the force. Present day, Garrett is sitting in a bar, watching the public inquiry. Sean is called in next. Blue is revealed to be alive. Having traced Garrett, she leaves a message to Karen. The episode ends with Blue following Garrett. Like and subscribe for more videos like this.